for the Chargers, along with Keandre Lambert-Smith, who's going to take it and take the knee for the touchback to start this game and field. They're going to send Njoku in motion and pitch it to Hampton on first down. Looking to get to the edge, and he loses a yard. Well covered by this 49. On second down and 11, fake it to Hampton. Quick throw to the outside, and it's a catch for Charlie Kohler, one of the big additions this offseason. He'll take it for 9 yards and set up third down and 2.
Big addition is right. He's 6'6", 250 pounds. Left side of the screen, you can't get more wide open than this. Herbert does a good job of getting him the ball, and if he doesn't stumble here, he's going to pick up the first down with ease. But that little stumble there cost him.
And this is all we've heard, the quick throws to put the receivers in best position to get yards after catch. That's all Mike McDaniel's been about. Another play-action pass. Herbert over the middle, and it's incomplete. Too high for Ladd McConkey, and now a decision.
That's one series. Just 3 plays. We'll see if that holds.
So J.K. Scott is going to come out for the punt on the misfire. Herbert looking for his #1 target. Meanwhile, Deebo Samuel is back to receive this punt, re-signing with San Francisco just about a week ago after spending last season in Washington. Scott, known for his hang time, is going to put it high up there and let Samuel call for the fair catch. They'll let it bounce, takes a Chargers bounce inside the 15 and rolls all the way inside the 10. A beautiful percent. Kalon Black, the rookie third-round pick out of Indiana, is the running back. No Christian McCaffrey, who's been dealing with injury through training camp. They're going to pitch it to Black on first down. Surge through the hole and across the 10-yard line, pick up 5 yards. Tonight's players to watch are sponsored by Mazda, cars crafted for those who choose to do more than simply move. And on the defensive side, T.Y. Edwards has been a preseason standout the last 2 years.
And Tomlinson did not play last week against the Texans, but T.Y. is a fun guy to watch. He had that big interception last year. Nothing like a big man interception, right?
I would agree. I mean, I can't think of many things at least. Second down and 5. Tonjes, the motion man. Pump fake and a delivery and a catch going for 4 yards is going to go to Deebo Samuel and set up third down and short. Dean Leonard comes up with a tackle, has been their #1 gunner for the Chargers since he's entered the league 5 years ago from Ole Miss, but still trying to showcase himself as a defensive back as well.
Tremendous competition throughout the defense. The secondary, don't know how many players are going to keep.
Keeping Black in there. In the backfield, 5'10", 208. They give it to him on third and short. Looks like he gets just enough to move the sticks. Ran into Deion Henley, the leading tackler for the Chargers last year with 103, but Henley just a half step too late.
Yeah, Henley with back-to-back 100 tackle years. #0. Let them square up, but that's a good job of Black just turning his shoulder and pivoting to pick up the first down.
He was such a critical part of Indiana's national championship team last year, and our first penalty of the game is going to bring out Craig Rolstad.
False start. Offense, number 89. It's a 5-yard penalty. First down.
That's Luke Farrell, the 6th-year man out of Ohio State. Will move them back 5 yards. And that was something that Justin Herbert talked about through the week, getting his opportunity as the first-team offenses. You don't want pre-snap penalties. That's the biggest thing that you tend to see through these preseason games. You want clean football. Demarcus Robinson, the motion man on first and long, and over the middle, it's tipped, and it was open and available for R.J. Mickens. Instead, it's incomplete.
Trying to squeeze it into Deebo Samuel, and this is a forced pass. Watch number 19, right side of the screen. He's open early, but waiting for him to get farther across the field is going to cost Purdy on this one. Lucky that one wasn't picked off. Chargers would have had unbelievable field position if it had been.
Cam Hart with the tight coverage there. Jim Harbaugh getting a look at his first-team defense. No Khalil Mack and no Derwin James for the entire preseason. There's another quick throw and catch to the outside, and the grab made by the rookie out of Ole Miss, Dejon Stribling.
Stribling, he looks like a veteran to me. A rookie out of Mississippi, but watch how he catches the ball out away from his body with his hands. Tremendous set of hands here, working against Cam Hart. Ball thrown away from the defender. First catch for Stribling.
Makes it 3rd down and 4 after the pickup of 11. Purdy. A strike right back to Stribling for a 1st down catch. He just got past Tony Jefferson, picks up 6 and keeps the drive alive. Now for the Magic Keys to the game, sponsored by Disneyland Resort. Magic Key Annual Pass. And our 3 keys today feel like a little bit of a Groundhog Day at the top.
Yeah, that's what preseason's all about. Getting to that game 1 of the regular season as healthy as possible.
On 1st down, it's a pitch. It's Black. He disappears into the pile, gains a yard. 2nd and 9 upcoming. This San Francisco team that is working through a number of injury issues themselves. They brought in Christian Kirk. He's been dealing with injury. Offensive line has been a bit battered down. They're waiting for George Kittle to make his return. Christian McCaffrey, as mentioned, still has been out of practice. On the defensive side, they've dealt with, on all 3 levels, different injury issues. Nick Bosa still working himself back after a season ender last year. Fred Warner has been in practice, which has been a good sign for the Niners, as Black runs into a wall initially, but kept the feet moving to the 35-yard line and sets up 3rd and manageable.
These teams worked against each other on Tuesday in a very spirited practice for both teams. Consensus was that the Chargers outplayed the 49ers, especially in the passing game, but 49ers coming out with this drive starting deep in their own end have been impressive so far, thanks to Stribling.
Jim Harbaugh was just pleased with how open receivers were getting. Of course, the devastating news was what Jamie told us before the game. Tyler Biadasz out for the foreseeable future, and another on-time delivery to Stribling. His 3rd catch again for a 1st down.
Well, he had 7 catches last week against the Titans, and he's off to another great start. Slant route, left side of the screen. And again, it's showing a great pair of hands there to secure the catch.
They believed in him. They went up to get him in the 2nd round. Team highs in receptions and yards last week, as mentioned, against Tennessee. An impressive first performance as McCormick gets no gain on that carry. As Charger defense, 1st year under Chris O'Leary, defensive coordinator, coming over after calling the plays on the defensive side for Western Michigan, was the safeties coach for the Chargers 2 years ago. They're littered with talent even without Mack and Derwin James for the preseason. You think about what they could look like at all 3 levels. Dalvin Tomlinson, we mentioned, being the big addition for the starting unit. There's a look at O'Leary, who's going to call the defense from the field. In fact, both coordinators for the Chargers will be down on the sidelines through the season, calling their respective units. Empty set for Purdy. Looking to get away. Purdy trying to escape away from Dupree, and he does gain a couple yards to set up 3rd and 7 on the pickup of 3.
If there's any question if he's 100% because of that turf toe, I think that little move there, there's a lot of pressure on their right foot. He spins out of the pocket and then shows just enough speed to get away from Dupree and safely out of bounds.
So the Chargers have struggled to get this Niners offense off the field. Kyle Shanahan, always so creative. Of course, the connection with Mike McDaniel going back so many years as they grew together in the coaching world. And Shanahan has had some outstanding seasons, and he's looking to get his team back to the playoffs after some disappointing ones as well. And that's an excellent play made by Elijah Molden coming up to break that up and force a punt for this Niners offense.
Yeah, that was really a quick move by Molden. Left side of the screen, you see, he almost has a shot at picking this one off, but he made sure wrapping his arms around the receiver and knocking the ball loose.
So beyond just the offense and the defense, the special team starters are going to be out there as well, and that includes Darius Davis for the Chargers, one of the most dangerous return men in the entire NFL. Corliss Waitman is going to send it away for San Fran. Davis back inside the 10-yard line. Will let it bounce into the end zone, and a proper decision. So 12 plays for that Niners offense, but didn't get it past midfield. The J.K. Scott punt allowed for Molden to eventually finish it off. Stay scoreless midway through the first. The quick penetration by this Niners front forces him backwards, and Romello Height, the rookie out of Texas Tech, makes the play. Trey Lance, we mentioned it last week, had some really bright moments. He did have the one mistake with the interception towards the red zone.
Well, he obviously has a background with McDaniels because he did spend a year with him in San Francisco. So the terminology and the way McDaniels like to call the game, very familiar to him.
And Njoku again in motion on 2nd down and 12, and Lance puts it right into the pocket for his intended target. The catch made by Brennan Thompson. We saw a couple of really impressive route runs and just open opportunities for the rookie last week, his first catch here in week 2.
Well, look how far off the defensive back is playing. Often to the inside. Easy pitch and catch that time, but he has blazing speed. And you can see the respect that he gets from the 49er corner, Renardo Green.
And we asked Trey Lance about Thompson. He said he tracks the ball so well for his size and speed. He said he didn't know he's ever played with a player that's as fast as him, but he's a complete wide receiver. He does everything. Now on 3rd down and 3, Lance gets rid of it. There is Mitchell with a catch and run and a first down. That is exactly what Mike McDaniel envisioned when he put up a wanted poster for this guy in the Chargers facility. The Comfort Zone is sponsored by Jerome's Furniture, your comfort zone for quality and style. And Amarion Hampton definitely seems to be in the comfort zone with Mike McDaniel's offense. He said he likes it a lot, something that not a lot of teams do. So it's going to be super exciting. I know how special this offense can truly be, especially as they keep getting comfortable. And Hampton, really that power back. You've got Mitchell with the speed out of the backfield as well. On the roll and the delivery, Keandre Lambert-Smith, who had a big day last week in Houston, picks up 8.
That's really a smart call by McDaniels to get Lance out of the pocket. Take advantage of his athletic ability, his speed, his ability to throw on the run. That was a well-designed play and another wide-open receiver.
You mentioned it with McDaniel. He loves Keandre Lambert-Smith and what he's seen in camp. But Trey Lance, when we talked to him about KLS, he said he's been making plays since OTAs last year. You just love what you can do when the ball is in his hands. Mitchell, that hesitation move got him a little extra space, and then he got dragged forward. Maybe gains half a yard to make it 3rd down and short. Diamador Lenore, the veteran, coming from the defensive backfield to make the tackle.
And it's going to be fun to watch the combination. You touched on it a little bit with Hampton and Mitchell. Mitchell with blazing speed, and Hampton, the power, the difficult guy to tackle. Thunder and lightning, huh?
No question. And Kamani Vidal, who really came on strong last season, is back now in year number 3 after being taken in the 6th round back in 2024. Had 643 rushing yards last season. They believe they have a 3-headed monster. 3rd down and 2. Lance is going to let it fly. With a step, it's Thompson, and it's incomplete. Just a little bit too far in front, and no flag comes in. There was good coverage down the field from Renardo Green.
Boy, it looked like at the end of that play, Green tackled Thompson before he had a chance to really take off and make an effort on this ball. Watch number 0. Yeah, that is as close to pass interference as you're going to find. He grabbed him around the shoulder, then the leg, but no flag.
That's what Lance was looking for. Deebo Samuel back out for another punt return opportunity. Scott pinned them inside the 10 on his first chance. He's going to look to do the same here. Fair catch called for, and this time Samuel will bring it in at the 12-yard line. So similar opening drive to the first. 42. They went 5 and 3 with Purdy on the sideline and Jones under center. Dribbling the motion man, Black the running back, and he bursts forward on 1st down to the 15-yard line. He'll gain 4.
That's a byproduct of a good system, and obviously the Shanahan system has been so successful regardless of who's playing quarterback. But Jones has that experience. This is his 6th year in the NFL and a valuable backup.
There was so much chatter back in 2021 when he got drafted 15th by New England that San Francisco was interested in him at 3. Instead, they went with Trey Lance now with the Chargers, and those two facing off as backup quarterbacks. Into the very capable arms, Delshon Phillips making the tackle to force a no-gain play and a 3rd and 6 for this Niners offense.
There was good penetration that time by Garmon Randolph. Got in the backfield, spun the runner, spun him around, and kept him to a short gain.
Randolph? Where's Mortimer?
He's somewhere. It's preseason, right?
That's right. It was the Dukes, 3rd and 6. Chargers bring 4. Jones steps up in the tight window. Guess who? Stripling with another catch and a big gain across the 35. R.J. Mickens finally halts him, but a 22-yard pickup.
And this guy's a rookie, huh? He does not look like a rookie. Over the middle, in a crowd, concentrates on the catch, gets the ball right to the body. Fine throw by Mac Jones.
So we'll see if it will be the Niners to be the first team to get into enemy territory. Tonjes is in there. They fake the pitch. Free runner. Jones lofts it over the top for Farrell. And the catch and run will be another first down pickup of 12.
Well, he didn't quite get across the midfield. They're going to mark it about 6 inches short. So you jinxed him.
Yeah, you're putting it on me, the broadcaster's jinx. You're a believer?
Absolutely.
You could feel it when you were playing?
Well, I felt a lot of things, but I did not feel that.
So first down from just at midfield. And the handoff. The extra effort, and Black staying on his feet will pick up 8. Tony Jefferson, the final man there to stop him in his tracks.
Kalen Black has been impressive. He really comes hard at the line of scrimmage, and at 5'9", 208 pounds, has got power. And you love to see a running back when he's tackled heading towards the goal line.
He's got 7 carries for 24 yards in this opening quarter. Now 2nd down and 2. They go right back to him. And a big hole for Black. Gets upended in the secondary across the 35-yard line. A big hit down low by Avery Smith, the rookie.
Well, the quickness here, and great vision. One cut right there. But how about that tackle?
Well, Jim Harbaugh was so excited about the 2 rookie defensive backs, Avery Smith and Genesis Smith, along with Rodney Shelley for that matter. Meanwhile, Jones lofts it, sideline, separation, and dribbling dropped what might have been a touchdown.
Well, he's human after all, I assume. Yeah, he knows he should have had that one. That's a heck of a throw by Mac Jones. Good protection for Jones. Little pump fake, and then right over the shoulder, right to those gloved hands, and down to the ground. Definitely going to be a touchdown as he gets behind Leonard.
Stripling already has 4 catches for 46 yards in this first quarter. That one would have broken the seal on this ball game. Instead, Sincere McCormick spun around, staying up, and gets to the 30-yard line to set up 3rd down and 7. T-Raw Edwards, big number 96 for the Chargers with the stop, and sets up again a 3rd and 7, the same way the Chargers got the Niners offense off the field on the first possession.
Very vanilla type of offense for San Francisco. Not a lot of movement or shifting. Remember, these teams play each other in the regular season at the end of the season in game 15.
That'll be right here on December 17th. This drive now the 9th play. Jones going to step up, try to tuck it, and he won't get very far. Good pursuit by this Chargers front, and Garmin Randolph making another play to make it 4th down.
Not sure he'll get credit for a sack. I think he may have, Jones may have picked up a half a yard or so. That's unfortunate that Randolph couldn't pick up a sack there, because he certainly had the effort.
And before this field goal will be attempted, we go to 0-0s on the first quarter clock. So it'll be a 4th down and 6, and we believe will be a field goal attempt for San Francisco. And he sticks it. So the Niners get on the board first, just 4 seconds into the second. Dicker waiting for his turn. Pinheiro does his part. First half, and then DJ Uiagalelei at quarterback in the second half, which is what we saw last week in Houston. Uiagalelei really performed well, along with the likes of Amar Johnson, who had 85 yards from scrimmage and a 2-point conversion to go with his 2 touchdowns. This one's going to be taken by Vidal right from the goal line. And he couldn't find that surge as he gets it across the 25. So here comes Trey Lance for his second opportunity.
Yeah, last week he showed he operated well from the pocket, hooking up with DeAndre Lambert-Smith a couple of times. Then he gets a rookie involved, Thompson. But this is what he does best, is throw on the run as he gets Johnny Pacuzzi into the action. So far tonight, 3 out of 4 for 28 yards.
both he and Uyunglele told us earlier this week that it was some of the best pockets they've had in years from their offensive line. Out of the pocket this time, and another good delivery, clean to Oronde Gadsden, who will get it to the 35-yard line. Picks up 8.
Bit of a dangerous pass. You hate to see a throw late over the middle, but it was a short throw to the tight end Gadsden. It sets up a really a quarterback's dream situation. Second down and real short.
Keaton Mitchell staying in there, so good to see him get some extended action. And they will give it to him on 3rd and 2. And this is going to be a gain of a yard to set up, make it, 2nd and 2 to set up 3rd and 1. Upcoming for this Chargers offense, Garrett Wallow with the stop on Mitchell.
Defensively, the 49ers are doing a great job of shutting down the Charger run so far. Haven't been able to experience the speed of Mitchell just yet.
Signed a 2-year, $9.25 million deal after that man put a wanted poster in the Chargers facility, made it clear to Joe Ortiz that that had to be a priority. Davis the motion man on 3rd and 1. It is Lance. Hill uncorked, looking for Mitchell. Perfect delivery on the back shoulder and a big chunk first down.
Now we're seeing some speed out of Mitchell.
Although we've got a flag.
And it's all coming back. Illegal procedure against the Chargers.
Illegal formation offense. Number 86 was covered up by another eligible receiver. It's a 5-yard
field as he got behind the defense.
Good protection, lofting up high and incomplete for Lambert Smith. Tight coverage, Diamador Lenore is there, and another 3 and out for the Chargers offense.
This is so much different than their joint practices that they had on Tuesday when the Charger passing game was just dominant against the 49ers zone. Lenore all over KLS.
So we saw Deebo Samuel out there for the first 2 punts. This time it's going to be Jacob Cowing, the 3rd-year player out of Arizona, wide receiver with some legit speed. As Scott puts it up high, and Cowing's going to have to come up to get it. And with some opportunity, he runs into a wall right at the 30. Just a 2-yard return after the impressive punt again on the hang time for Mac Jones for the time being. Starting from the 31-yard line, and a pitch going to Zeus White, who gets clobbered after a gain of 2. So Chris O'Leary coming over. He was the safeties coach, as mentioned, 2 seasons ago with the Chargers in year 1 under Jim Harbaugh. Last season, the defensive coordinator and safeties coach at Western Michigan, but he was so instrumental in the career years of guys like Derwin James, Elijah Molden, Tony Jefferson a couple seasons ago, and they have been thrilled to have him back on the sideline.
Yeah, his defensive philosophy, play fast and violently, no hesitation.
Loft from Jones, incomplete, broken up last second. He was looking for Jacob Cowing down the field, and a nice play without even having to turn around to make said play and force the incompletion by Rodney Shelley.
Well, you talk about timing. This ball and Shelley arrive at exactly the same time. Great reaction by Shelley. Great timing.
Niners are 4 for 6 on 3rd down, but 0 for 2 on 3rd and 7 plus in the first quarter plus. It's going to be Jones with a free rusher up the middle. Jones escaping with a couple of flags down. He'll let it rip. A little high and incomplete. And you've got to assume these 2 penalties in the direction of holding against the offense.
Well,
we almost saw Genesis Smith with a
holding
spectacular catch.
Offense, number 9. That penalty's declined. The result of the play is 4th down.
Last week against the Texans, Smith almost had an interception in the end zone. Here's the holding, left side of the screen. Can't miss that, can you?
No.
There's the flags that didn't miss it either.
Meanwhile, it was R.J. Mickens who had the free run up the middle. You mentioned Smith, almost the spectacular catch last week. Jim Harbaugh said he looked like Lynn Swann, how he was tracking the ball high in the end zone.
Just ran out of room.
He sure did. Keandre Lambert-Smith is back to receive this one from Waitman on 4th and 8. And KLS will take it from inside the 20 and advance it about 5 more yards ahead to get this Chargers offense back in business. Low scoring affair, so Trey Lance has his face mask ready to go. Kamani Vidal in the game for the first time in the backfield with him. And on first down, to the air. Lance over the middle, wide open. And a first down catch from Gadsden with a flag down back at the 20.
12, both didn't get reset. That's a 5-yard penalty replay. First down.
Wipes off the 18-yard gain, and we go to Jamie Maggio.
Guys, joining the broadcast.
Jim Harbaugh has had a lot of praise for the way that Taylor has been ascending, according to Harbaugh. He started the last game of the season last year at left guard in Denver. So, the drive will continue on a 2nd and 13 from the 20. Devontae Ross was the man in motion. Lance with a step. Gadsden could not reel it in. It was tight coverage by Jaden Duggar, the rookie.
Bounce back with their pass defense. In fact, their entire defense from the workout they had against the Chargers on Tuesday.
Scott with another high punt. Cowing will let it bounce at the 35, takes a Charger bounce inside the 25, and again, J.K. Scott with excellent placement inside the 15 to the 13. Well, the best defense is...
Free with the information.
He said that
Great leader.
Mack and Tuli Pelotu have both been outstanding every day. That one a little off the mark, looking for Braden Willis, and there's Khalil Mack. The thing that Mesidor said, you asked for an example of something that he would ask K-Mac, and he mentioned basically asking him when to do certain moves based on where you're lining up and where you are to the quarterback, and he said Mac's answer was so detailed, it made so much sense for Mesidor to now put it right into practice.
Yeah, and they love the pass rush moves too, don't they?
They sure do.
Sharing information. Dirty scoundrels.
So the pitch goes to the outside, and a gain of 2 will make it 3rd down and 8. But you think about this pass rush opportunity, and you mentioned the aggressive nature of the Chris O'Leary defense. He's going to want to put pressure on the quarterback. You've got Mack, Tui Pelotu, Bud Dupree, and now Mesidor, the first-round pick out of Miami. Just options, and multiple options at that. They feel Mesidor can be just as effective inside as he is on the outside, along with a guy like Tui Pelotu.
You know, Mesidor's got great size, 6'3", 280 pounds.
3rd down and 8. See what this Chargers defense can do. They bring 4 with a spy. And a little too high for Cowing. Jones with a couple of errant throws and a 3-and-out in deep territory for the Niners.
Well, Jones started 2 for 2 for 34 yards. Since then, 0 for 5. And on this drive, a couple of passes that he'd obviously like to get back. One was a short pass in the flat. That one sailed way over the head of the wide receiver.
So Keandre Lambert-Smith with a potential opportunity here. And as Waitman, who had a 71-yard punt just a couple years ago, is going to look to see what he can do. The lefty delivers a spiral, and Lambert-Smith will take it just in front of midfield with a couple of blocks. Lambert-Smith gets excellent field position across the 45 to the 42 of the Niners. Best field position of the day for the Chargers. Let's see if they can take advantage when we come back to SoFi Stadium. Trey Lance operating next. On first down, good time. It runs out for Lance, and now will show off the wheels. A lot of space for Lance inside the 20 and down to the 6. The first big play for this Chargers offense has them set up 1st and goal. 37 yards on the ground.
Now, great protection to begin with, but the Niners are playing man-to-man defense here. Nobody has their eyes on the quarterback. So once Lance breaks the pocket, there's the race is on.
He was sailing on his way all the way to the 6. So 1st and goal. And the handoff for Vidal. He could not escape. Got tripped up immediately in the backfield by Ukawanu.
Well, the 49ers in that practice against the Chargers, defensively their line play was outstanding, and we're seeing that tonight. Chargers got the better of the 49ers in the passing game, but you can see the 49ers up front are shutting down this run game so far, except for Lance.
Let's see if Lance can record a touchdown this go-round. On play action, he finds Matlock inside the 5 He'll drive the pile forward to the 3, and it's 3rd down and goal, as Wallow did not allow him to get much further.
You know, with Matlock, he's trying to get in the end zone here, but he can't spin and try to get away from anybody. He's got to overpower that tackler. He weighs nearly 300 pounds. Very versatile athlete.
He wears it well. Midway through this second quarter, Chargers trying to get the first touchdown on the board. First real threatening opportunity. Vidal split out. Empty set for Lance. Niners bring 4. Lance, fade. Lambert Smith couldn't bring it in. Tight coverage in the corner of the end zone, and Jack Jones breaks it up to force 4th down.
Going for the fade route to KLS. Ball slightly underthrown. Did not really get it up high enough. You can see how high KLS gets up in the air, but the ball doesn't get up quite high enough. Hits Jones right in the back of the helmet.
So it'll be a field goal attempt for Cameron Dicker from 21 yards out. And that is a chip shot that he could hit with his eyes closed. Ties the game at 3. It was a 37-yard rush by Lance that got him in business. The rest of the team today,
0 yards rushing.
that's right, is almost none.
Yeah, it's embarrassing, really, when you think about it. A whole half of play.
What was one of the most dynamic offenses in the NFL, of course, eventually leading to Brock Purdy, which has been an outstanding fit. With a flag down, Cowing is going to look to reverse field. Gets it across the 25, stays on his feet around the 30, and finally dragged down at the 40-yard line, but we'll wait for the penalty.
Now, this is against San Francisco. It was thrown as soon as the ball was kicked, which tells me there was an illegal alignment by the 49ers.
And using the counting method, never a great sign either.
Illegal formation. Offense, number 29. Los Angeles has chosen to re-kick with a 5-yard penalty.
So Kyle Shanahan will compute it all in his head. But with a re-kick 5-yard penalty, Chargers are going to try to see what they can get. Special teams coordinator Ryan Ficken is trying to explain exactly what he is looking to do after that penalty.
Well, you know, it's preseason, and this is a chance to practice.
Correct.
And nobody wants to run under a kick twice. But some of these guys are obviously playing for their football lives, and this is a way to make an impression, get something on tape,
and we
to
really
show your hustle and desire.
To your point, we've really seen the special teams coordinators flex a little bit more since the dynamic kickoff has come into play, showing that strategy during the regular and postseason in particular. And those knuckleball kickers, the guys that have showcased that they can go out there and be Tim Wakefield a little bit, or R.A. Dickey.
Aren't all kickers little knuckleheads?
No, knuckleballers.
Oh, knuckleballers.
Yeah.
They're related.
Are they also with the Scoundrels? It's going to be a touchback this time as Cowing just falls on top of it. So for San Francisco, those first 2 drives looked efficient, 24 plays, 103 yards. The last 6 plays have gone 4 yards. The Chargers defense has locked in a bit more, and Dicker finally gets the score even here. And so they will get everything lined up properly and get this ball to the 35-yard line. But that is the other thing with the dynamic kickoff, where field position now is at such a place that 1 or 2 chunk gains and you're automatically in field goal range, especially with the leg that some of these kickers have showcased over the last couple seasons.
And especially if your name's Dicker, the kicker.
Jones on play action, Rainbow, perfectly delivered. Jordan Watkins turns upfield and picks up a couple more to the 41-yard line.
And the play action pass gave Jones a little bit more time to find the speedy receiver down the field. There's the fake, good pocket, perfect throw.
Watkins was targeted 10 times last week in the game against Tennessee. On the pitch this time, it's McCormick finding the space, and McCormick, the Burners, caught up just in time. Down the field, Kendall Williamson makes a tackle to save a touchdown.
Now the blocking is outstanding, obviously, but how about that move? Fake to the inside, bounce to the outside, then turned on the Jets before Williamson can deny him.
So Zeus White, the big back, will be in there on 1st and goal with a flag down. Free rusher, and a dangerous throw is knocked down. Avery Smith got hands on it and thought he might have had an interception, but we wait for the penalty.
Illegal shift, offense, 2 men moving without getting reset. That's a 5-yard penalty, still first down.
That is the 4th penalty of the night for the Niners.
Yeah, the pressure by Andre Carter forced that ill-advised attempt by Mac Jones, but it would.
Start out of the eye with McCormick and Braden Willis. Putting Hayden Rucci in motion on 1st and goal now from the 9. McCormick up the gut. He is stymied. Gained 2 yards on that carry. Remember, the Chargers won the toss, elected to receive. Here Colson adds to his tally with that stop. And he's going to be somebody that the Chargers are watching. Taken in the 3rd round in 2024 after he won a national title with Jim Harbaugh in his final season at Michigan. Had such high hopes for what he would be, but he's dealt with injuries his first 2 seasons, missed all of last year. McCormick, patience, staying up for the touchdown. And the first pay dirt of the night belongs to San Francisco and Sincere McCormick, the 3rd-year man out of UTSA.
Let's check it out to make sure he gets all the way in the end zone before that knee goes down. Hard to tell from that angle as he stretches across the goal line. But you like to see the guy rewarded after he brought the ball all the way down inside the 5-yard line on that long run.
So Pinheiro will come on. Touchdown is confirmed. And the extra point is good. 4 plays down the field, 65 yards in under 2 minutes. It was the big rush and then the touchdown rush as we check in with Jamie Maggio.
Noah Dana.
Baby calf.
Excuse me.
Yes, he was, the way he was showing
I
it.
think the term is birthing.
Birthing?
Yes.
The way he said it was pull out.
Well, he was calling signals.
And there's a solid return to the 29-yard line from Patterson. The other thing he said on that Fairlife tour, said there was a young kid there who his main question was, all I want to do is play college football. What advice do you have for me? And his advice was drink all the milk you can.
Well, it worked for Jim.
It sure did. Here he is. And by the way,
He didn't drink enough milk.
Vidal stays in there in the backfield. Matlock as well. Pitch it. Vidal, good blocking. And gets it just across the 30. This Niners defense has been dialed in against the run.
Well, they're getting penetration from the D-line and pursuit by the linebackers. Looked like Vidal had something going there, but the pursuit got him once he cracked the D-line.
San Francisco lost defensive coordinator Robert Saleh, who's now the head coach in Tennessee. But they brought back Raheem Morris, first season as Niners defensive coordinator after 2 seasons as the Falcons head coach. As a DC with the Rams under Sean McVay. Oh, that's a big hit after the catch, but DeAndre Lambert-Smith keeps the hands. Jack Jones delivers the boom, and it's a pickup across the 35 to set up 3rd and short.
And this is a heck of a catch by Lambert-Smith. There's the shot he takes there, and he'll spend a couple of moments on the sidelines getting checked out. That was a pick-a-rib type of hit by the defender.
Good to see him just get up and walk off. That blindside shot. So now an empty set for Lance. Chargers 1 for 6 on third down so far. Lance, time runs out. Flag is down. Lance going to run again. And he'll slide down across the 45 with the penalty. Lance playing against his former team, showcasing that speed. And we'll see if this is coming back.
Illegal formation, offense. Number 86 was covered up by another eligible receiver. It's a 5-yard penalty, replay third down.
And again, Gadsden covered up.
Well, you know, it's the Chargers are really hurting themselves with penalties because on 3 big plays, a pass play of 21 yards, one of 18 yards, and that 11-yard run by Lance, all wiped out by penalty.
So a third down and 8. You do see Devontae Ross, the rookie out of Penn State, who had a couple of impressive moments last week against Houston, including the touchdown catch from DJ Uiagalelei. He's in there. Darius Davis in motion. Lance over the middle. It was behind Davis. He took another pop, and it's incomplete. So Davis now going to feel the effects of that shot. Ashton Davis delivered that hit. Fourth down. J.K. Scott back out there.
There, the ball thrown behind Davis. Davis kind of ran out of that zone. He needs to settle down there and give the quarterback a target. And the quarterback, Lance, has got to see that linebacker out in front.
So Cowing will get another opportunity at a Scott punt. He's had a couple of brilliant placements already. And again, the hang time showcased Cowing from the 16. Trying to get to the edge and does. Gets a block. Now down the sideline. Keeps his footing across the 40. Cowing with one to beat, and he does. He's going to go. Jacob Cowing. House call. Touchdown Niners. 84 yards.
Niners got real lucky there. They could have been called for an illegal block in the back right as he got to the sideline. No flag on the play, but watch from the left side of the screen. That block right there should have been called illegal. And now J.K. Scott says, plays the Matador.
After the touchdown, unsportsmanlike conduct, San Francisco bench, non-uniform player left the bench area into the end zone. That's a 15-yard penalty on the try.
So it'll be a 15-yard penalty on the extra point. See, Trent Williams loved it from Cowing, who in his career has an 8.8-yard average. His longest punt return went 30 yards, and Deebo Samuel enjoying himself a little too much. That was the flag called, so Pinheiro's going to have an extra point from way deep, and it doesn't matter. He puts it through. 84-yard return from the speedster and Jacob Cowing, and now the Chargers find themselves in a hole. Ozier and Amar Johnson are back deep for this kick return. And it is taken by Johnson, the star from last week, from the goal line. Trying to retaliate, gets it across the 30 to the 31-yard line. The Chargers Impact Fund is a nonprofit charity dedicated to empowering youth, generating access, and creating opportunity. To learn how you can help make a difference, visit chargers.com/impact. So now you've got under 3 to play, all 3 timeouts in the 2-minute warning for this Chargers offense. You're going to have to kick off in the second half, and if you're Trey Lance, this could be your final drive of the game.
Well, he's been the highlight so far with his legs, basically. A couple of real nice runs, and the only running back to make a difference.
Give it to Vidal, and again, he just runs into what feels like a force field from this Niners defense. Picks up 2 yards, and that stop was made by Okoronkwo. Second and 7 upcoming for this Chargers. Jim Harbaugh mentioned to us, look, they showcased that they could do it. They showcased they could play at a ridiculously high level last week. in all three phases of the game. We want to see consistency. There's no excuses now to not play at that level all the time. We'll see what they can do to finish this first half into the second. That's a good one right there. Right into the pocket for Devontae Ross, and he'll meander his way to midfield. Picks up 16. No real rush here for LA. They will take this down to the 2-minute warning. So 2 minutes to play, all 3 timeouts for the Chargers. Will be Devontae Ross trying to show off his speed. He won't get a chance. He loses the football. 49ers looked like they might have pounced on it, and they did.
Now, the one thing you can't do on a football field is to hesitate. And that's exactly what happened on that play. Ross came right to the defenders and stopped. Fumble on the kickoff return.
The last 2 drives have now started at the Charger 30 and now the 20 for this Niners offense. That one will go for 3 yards for Zamir White. The one real positive play came on the pick 6 for Junior Colson. That came with outstanding pressure from Nadeem Tucker, rookie from Western Michigan. Now who else will make a play? Martinez, drop, step up, a fastball for a touchdown. Jordan Watkins, the open man, and number 17 scores from 17 yards out to extend the lead.
Yeah, Watkins had a big day last week against Tennessee. Watch the post route, right side of the screen. Real sharp route, and you cannot throw a better ball than Martinez throws right here. Tight spiral, right to the face mask, right to the back of the end zone.
So back-to-back drives that start deep in Charger territory. Back-to-back touchdowns. 1 on the ground, 1 through the air for Adrian Martinez. 3 straight touchdown drives to his 9-year career, and highly successful one at that with the Cleveland Browns. Another opportunity at a return. This time it's Jaquay Jackson. And he'll burst through. He gets upended with a flag down. He's down to the 28-yard line. Another big hit by this Niners special teams unit. That was Jalen Stroman. The shakeup after this penalty.
During their turn, holding, return team number 51. It's a 10-yard penalty, first down.
Well, the shakeup is sponsored by Shakey's, the People's Pizza Parlor since 1954. We just saw.
Right. Running backs tonight, 10 carries for all of 3 yards combined. Didn't see a lot of Kolar or Njoku, but they are both outstanding in the run game. And McDaniel wants to use more tight ends, especially with that outside zone running attack.
Njoku is such a threat when you get towards the red zone and goal line opportunities. Over the course of his career, 26 of his 34 career touchdowns have been in the red zone. Made the Pro Bowl in 2023 when Joe Flacco was his quarterback, and they made the playoffs, losing to the Texans. There's a quick first down catch and run by Delvon Campbell.
They're expecting big things out of Kolar as far as a receiver is concerned. He's got tremendous size at 6'6", 250.
But Herbert's talked about Njoku doing things outside of his normal purview. Said he's had such a great career so far, but it was really cool to talk to him during the game last week to see exactly how he saw football to this point in his career and how he can incorporate himself in a little bit of a different way as Jaret Patterson gets the carry and gains a yard.
That's 12 years of experience for Njoku, and Herbert now in his 7th year. You can never learn enough. This is a great sign there with Herbert reading that play sheet. He's got the communication to the play caller, Mike McDaniel, on the sideline, and he can relay the information to David.
He's called those the mental reps, and said that it's been really imperative to have his guys near him during those mental reps during these games so they can understand how he goes about it as well, and they can see how the play designs end up working and coming to fruition. By the way, David Njoku is 6'4", 246 pounds, and Justin Herbert makes him look like a normal guy. You see Trey Lance also getting his mental reps as well.
You see that play sheet that he usually has on his wrist when he's playing, but it looks like that cast he was wearing last year on that broken left hand.
3rd down and 9. Send Ross in motion. Uyunglele in the pocket. And it is bobbled and incomplete. Put it towards the sideline in the direction of Delvon Campbell, and Darrell Luter Jr. had him under Scott, and now Will Pauling is back there, but a flag before anything gets moving.
12 men, defense. It's a 5-yard penalty, still 4th down.
So give a little bit more leeway for Scott to potentially work with. Pauling, who was a long time stalwart at Wisconsin before he made his way to Notre Dame last year, known as a leader in every locker room that he's been in his collegiate career. Looking to showcase why he should get another look to make this team. Back him up to the 16. And he'll just pile drive forward across the 20 to the 21. Well, Chargers football is back right here at SoFi Stadium. Home opener as the Bolts take on the Arizona Cardinals. Get tickets now at chargers.com/tickets. Chargers start with the Cardinals on the 13th of September, and the Raiders at home before 2 straight on the road in Buffalo and Seattle, and home for the Broncos and in Kansas City before the Week 7 bye.
Kind of unusual, the Chargers with 2 straight home games to start the season. Something that hasn't happened in a long time.
On the pitch, it's Herbert. And he maybe gains a yard and a half as we go down to Jamie.
Noah, thank you. I'm here with Joe Alt. How'd it feel to get in the game for a little bit tonight?
Always feels great.
Well, you can pay that one off.
I appreciate it. Yeah, listen, he's a big man, but he still rides in style the proper way in the Sienna as Herbert gets back to the line of scrimmage after the catch. For the offensive line, that was such an area of focus really over the last several seasons through the draft and free agency. Chargers gave up 60 sacks last year, which was the most in team history. A big reason for that. No Rashawn Slater for the entire year, and then only 6 games of Joe Alt. They go 5-1 in those 6 games that he plays, and he was a Pro Bowler because of the way that he played in those 6 games. But they felt that they needed to find a way to protect Herbert, who took a league-high 138 hits last year, with 129 actually coming on Herbert itself. Meanwhile, Martinez will slide down at the 25-yard line. This is the projected starting unit for the offensive line. Now with Jake Slaughter in at center after Tyler Biadasz got injured on Tuesday with a left knee injury, out indefinitely. It'll be Slaughter, the 2nd-round pick rookie out of Florida, at center.
Last year has flared up on him, but they're being very cautious, which is wise because they know what he can do when healthy.
Such an incredible anchor on that left side of the line. Fair catch made by Ross after a 50-yard boot from Waitman, 41 NFL. This drive starts from the 24 for the Chargers. Still looking for their first offensive touchdown of the night. The stutter step from Patterson to the outside, and he meanders his way to the sideline and gets out of bounds. A nice explosive gain along that sideline and set up 2nd down and short. 7-yard pickup for Patterson, who was trying to find his way back into a rotation in that running back room. That's Hampton and Keaton Mitchell, who we saw in the first 3 drives of the day. And then Kamani Vidal as the 3rd. Amar Johnson was a standout last week in Houston. Patterson, DeWosier, both trying to fight as well. And the wide receivers, Brad McConkey, of course, is going to be heavily featured. as Uyunglele short arms one in the direction of Jaquay Jackson. But the depth is going to be needed because the first two games against Arizona and Vegas at home are going to help set the table for what is a gauntlet to move after that. Buffalo on the road, Seattle, the reigning champs, on the road, home for Denver, and then on the road to Kansas City before the bye, and then after the bye.
Football in the NFC West. We got to play Seattle, Los Angeles, the 49ers.
Oh, miscommunication, yep, and Uyunglele gets dumped. Bethune has been a beast. It's a loss of 5.
Yep, that's definitely on DJ. Everybody else is going to the right. Yeah, maybe not. You know, I think that Patterson may have gone the wrong way. Whatever. Bad play on 3rd down.
And another 3 and out. So Pauling once again with another opportunity on a punt return. And Scott delivers another moonshot. Pauling from the 20. Slips one. Nearly a second. And just enough resistance from the Chargers on the coverage to the 29. Now Monty Johnson gets down the field for that stop. Well, Jim Harbaugh, year number 3. 22 wins in the regular season over the first 2 seasons. Trying to get their Chargers their first playoff win since 2007. But he's got the 4th most wins by a head coach in his first 6 seasons in NFL history, 66. Second person in NFL history with 60-plus wins as a starting quarterback and a head coach with Norm Van Brocklin. They've been 3rd in points per game allowed, 4th in yards per game allowed under Harbaugh. And Rashawn Slater had said he's been here since 2021. Still hasn't had a playoff win, but he knows that this is the guy that can lead them to that promised land, and not just a playoff win, but going further than that and making a legitimate run to the Super Bowl.
Well, people forget, he did take the 49ers to the Super Bowl when he coached there.
They were a mainstay in the NFC Championship. Of course, losing to his brother John and the Ravens in the Super Bowl. Colin Kaepernick starting at quarterback, and a really good defense anchored by Richard Sherman and that was later in Sherman's career, but that defense with those 2 linebackers for Jim Harbaugh, Hall of Fame talent at really all 3 levels.
Yeah, Patrick Willis, the leader.
So 5:10 to play, and a 3rd and 8 now for this Niners offense. Martinez trying to keep the play alive. Fade away. It is picked off out of bounds and caught. Devin Grant. Excellent ball tracking skills, and the Chargers have another turnover.
Devin Grant is 6'4", and he uses all of it. Watch him lay out. Good job by Martinez to get out of the pocket, but he really doesn't have much as he throws late. Doesn't get much better than that play by Devin Grant. Another Syracuse University star.
Yeah, it must be something in the water in central New York. I don't know what it is.
Well, you should know what it is.
You're probably right. I didn't drink much water.
A lot of milk, though, right?
Sure, yeah, that's right. On the pitch, DeWosier got to the outside and picks up 8 yards.
Yeah, DeWosier, hey, he had a pretty good game last week against the Texans. 10 carries, 27 yards with a 9-yarder. He got to the corner that time and picked up about 8.5.
Got an injured Niner. It's Nick Martin down on the field. So 4:51 to play for the Niners. They've got one final preseason game. That's in Vegas next week. So 2 road games in the preseason before week 1 in Melbourne against the Rams. So we'll have the extended break after week 1. The Niners are choosing to go to Australia a week ahead of time and essentially spend their entire week of preparation down under. You've got the Rams, who are going with a different approach, getting in, getting out. You see that Martin's going to walk off on his own power.
That's going to be a real test on the players. That plane ride.
Yep.
And then getting acclimated to everything that's down there. I mean, it's spectacular, but they got to play a football game.
No question.
And it's an opener, and it's important.
And it's a
division game.
Yes. And you've got McVay and Shanahan, who have been battling it out since both took over their respective teams in 2017. That's going to be a first down carry for DeWosier.
Now, there's nothing like a San Francisco-Los Angeles rivalry in any sport. No question.
Kyle Shanahan, over the course of his career now in San Francisco, 82-67. He's led the Niners to 3 NFC West titles and 2 Super Bowl appearances, losing both times to the Chiefs, including that spectacular back and forth in Vegas in the 2023 season that ended in overtime. They've won 10+ games in 5 of the last 7 seasons. DeWosier gets stonewalled right at the 40 after a pickup of 3.
And last year for the 49ers, they have been as impressive a season for Shanahan as any, with all the injuries that they had to overcome. Number one, losing your quarterback for a while in Brock Purdy.
Well, you thought about just the receiving core alone. The early portion of the season, Ricky Pearsall, who had so much hope for after taking him early just a couple seasons ago, he gets hurt. Then you lose George Kittle, who was just Mr. Consistency, Mr. Reliable on that offense, as Uyunglele delivers on the money to Pascuzzi and gets it across for a first down. 8-yard gain on the catch and run. Not to mention, Brandon Ayuk doesn't play. You lost Deebo Samuel to Washington. The one mainstay last season was Christian McCaffrey, who was one of the highest usage players in all of the NFL, and finished the season with 1,200 yards rushing and 924 yards receiving with 17 touchdowns from scrimmage. An obscene season for a guy who has had an absurdly effective career.
10-year career out of Stanford. Durable.
Uyunglele off the fake. And he steps up and gets crunched. A sandwich, losing about half a yard back to the 35-yard line. You can make the argument that what Justin Herbert did with that battered offensive line and what Kyle Shanahan did with his battered roster after especially losing his heart and soul defensively, Fred Warner, lost early in the season Nick Bosa for the year. Both of those were some of the better and more impressive performances coaching and playing in recent NFL memory. Second down and 11, ticking towards the 2-minute warning. Final play before it. And the screen was blown up, tipped and incomplete. Bryson Eason, rookie out of Tennessee, got a big paw on it. 1:57 to play.